where it would really be enough, because the first 6 episodes are just purely building this world and the characters. It's all set up, so it wouldn't be very action packed. Probably the second half of season 1 will be far more action packed. It'll probably get a real trailer, but for now, I figured the best way I could do it was to do a featurette on what exactly is Chronicle. So, the best way I like to describe it is that it's Generation 2, but done as if it were Generation 1. So it's done in the style of Generation 1, which means it's got all the things you would expect. Comrade Wolfie is a really good friend of mine, and I've known him for a while now, almost like half a year, and we just get along really well, and production of Chronicle with him has been awesome. Despite the fact that there is such a huge time zone difference, which puts production in a little bit of a halt, it's still a lot of fun. He's a really great writer, and he comes up with some awesome ideas, and he's an incredibly dedicated CCBS fan, and he knows his stuff. He could tell you what any part came from. But yeah, he's got some amazing ideas, and he's been so great to help me work on this, and he's been a huge part. He is literally part of... He's a huge part of the actual series, and a lot of it is to thank for him.
Working on Chronicle is interesting because I've never had the chance to work on a stop-motion series script before, so I've been gracious for this opportunity we're given. Chronicle is special because it's our own reimagining of what G2 could have been if LEGO had made attempts to put effort into it. I mean, let's face it, LEGO didn't really try for G2, but this is our way of showing respect to the series. Chronicle is special because it's our own reimagining of what G2 could have been if LEGO had made attempts to put effort into it. I mean, let's face it, LEGO didn't really try for G2, but this is our way of showing respect to the series.
So Chronicle has a lot of really awesome voice actors, and I was not expecting to have as many as I actually do. And that's been awesome.
Learn what? Learn what? Learn what?
Like, learn what?
Learn what? Learn what?
No, like, learn what? Like,
Learn what? Learn what?
a little bit, that's not as long as on the learn.
Learn what? Learn what? Learn what?
It's like-
Learn what? I can't stand. I can't stand. I can't stand.
That was
Yeah.
perfect. That was the one.
See, we're just getting it, right? That's me forcing myself up.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning, because like you just wake up, so you might want to go like a, like.
Does my fin.
Your fin?
Mm-hmm. When he's pops his head up in the sand place. He's all sweaty.
What the heck, man?
Just like super
But
intense.
by
like,
far, one of the best parts about Chronicle has been Otto Von Doom and his lines. Now, he's the voice actor for Makuta. He's actually the one everyone should be thankful for when it comes to, getting the auditions going. He asked me if he could audition for Makuta, and I was like, all right. And his audition was so good that I was like, maybe letting people audition would be a good idea, and it most certainly was.
Welcome to my realm, Toa. Please don't mind the shadows, but they will certainly be minding you.
Why do you spurn my efforts so, brother? I am trying to revolutionize the way these Akotans live. Imagine the ability to wield the elements of jungle and fire, water and stone. The possibilities are endless.
But he's gone on to play a bigger role than just that. He is also a writer on the series, and he also helps with developing characters. So it's been a pleasure to work with him.
Chronicle is essentially a melding of ideas between Generation 1 and Generation 2, which I actually do appreciate because there were certain parts of Generation 1 that I liked very much, and there were even some aspects of Generation 2 that I liked, but I always wondered, what if these two ideas could meet? And I guess that's essentially where Chronicle came in, because Chronicle is essentially a melding of the best of both worlds, which I think is pretty wonderful. The fun thing about working on Chronicle is the fact that I get to develop, or rather help develop, characters and storylines, especially the character that I'm voicing, primarily Makuta, who is obviously and always will be the big bad of Bionicle. But thankfully this time around, he is much more developed. He's certainly better than how he was portrayed in Mask of Light and, the other animated Miramax movies, and certainly better than Journey to One. So that's always a plus. And also getting to see how the other characters that revolve in this world, besides Makuta, getting to interact, getting to see their growth over the course of the series. That's definitely something that I love being a part of, taking part in making these characters, helping them grow. And, sometimes it feels more like a case of the characters telling me what to write instead of me writing the characters. And so that's always a fun experience. The thing that makes Chronicle unique, and the part that honestly makes it feel the most fun to me, is the fact that it's not really told as a straightforward story at first. Of course Toa land on Akoto, but then they don't land in the same area, they land separated. So it's definitely fun to see them do these parallel journeys of learning how to control their powers, gathering the masks, meeting the protectors and the creatures and all that stuff. And, it also has a certain Generation 1 feel in the development, which, as I mentioned earlier, was one of the things that Chronicle essentially embodies. The best of both worlds. And so, seeing that unfold, hearing the voices, and doing all the story writing, it's definitely something unique and something I personally have never seen before. And I give kudos to Thatchmack and the rest of our team, for making these characters as enjoyable as they are. And for making the story as enjoyable as it is.
Alright, so that basically is Chronicle, or at least the best way I can sum it up. Basically, we're trying to tell G2 in our own way with a lot of inspiration from the way G1 told their stories, and a heavy focus on world building, especially for the first season, because we want you to believe that this is an actual place. But anyway, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting Chronicle. I'm sorry it's taking so long, it will be a very long time before episode 1 comes out, but we're doing our best. And I just want to thank you for supporting it, and I hope this video holds you over the long wait that's about to come. Alright, goodbye.